Happiness, something we all strive towards. Everything we do, from getting an education to eating, is to satisfy us and eventually make us happy. Happiness around the globe is unofficially measured and published under the name of the World Happiness Report, a random survey of individuals from across the globe who rate their happiness in 6 different factors, from GDP to their perceptions on corruption. Happiness, when looked at from a developmental point of view, can be split into 4 broad categories. Basic physical needs, eating to fulfill your hunger. This would be what developing or struggling countries will look at the most. Psychophysical, luxury in terms of physical needs. For example, I don't just want to eat, I want to eat pizza. The next level is psycho-fulfillment. You're satisfied in terms of the above two. However, you feel like you are lacking a meaning in life, such as your dream job or partner, or perhaps you don't feel like you're supported enough, or your social connections are too weak. This is a very developed country problem, and is where a lot of mental illness can leak in the forms of depression or anxiety. The fourth and final is pure fulfillment, happiness in all aspects of life, and it will never exist. Humans always want more. It's in our basic nature to instinctively reach higher. It's ironic because the one thing that drives us almost doesn't exist. Of course, these lines can be blurred and aren't the same for everyone, which is exactly why happiness is such an elusive concept, and not exactly measurable. On top of that, worrying about happiness seems like a luxury that only developed countries can afford. However, Bhutan, a country that has only recently opened up to globalization in the last 2 decades, is the only one in the world that actually actively measures their citizens' happiness. Rather than placing emphasis on GDP, Bhutan attempts to track the happiness of its population through a Gross National Happiness Index, or GNH for short. The World Happiness Index rates Bhutan as one of the happiest countries in Asia, and this could be due to the officials putting a high emphasis on social and spiritual connectivity. Bhutan also uses the survey to scope out what areas their citizens need most help in, leading to what they call development with values. On the global scale, however, Bhutan rates 97th. Blame it on being heavily material-oriented is their side of the story. However, this rings more true than we would think. Of course, evidence suggests that income and life satisfaction tend to go hand in hand together, but studies have also found that as income rises, money becomes a less important part of the overall happiness equation. This makes sense because think about it. You have your psychophysical needs fulfilled, can eat pizza, and get those cool sunglasses even if you don't need them. However, you might not feel supported by the people around you or fulfilled in terms of job, or maybe you want a better house or a relationship. But to understand how greatly this affects our happiness, let's come back home to Canada. We're one of the richer countries and are known for our established healthcare system. Most of the people around us don't need to walk for kilometers to get water or strive for an education. However, in any given year, 1 to 5 Canadians experience a mental illness or addiction problem. We're second on the list for highest cocaine use, with 60% wanting to use less. On top of that, Canada only has about 13 psychiatrists per 100,000 people. So where's the gap here? In fact, this transcends Canada, with America, China, and India, top players in the global field, being the 3 most depressed countries in the world, not to mention one of them being really physically unhealthy, but we could explain that with overindulgence. Is this the curse of the developed country, or a byproduct of developing too fast, without values, as the Burmese claim? As a developed country, should we start placing less emphasis on GDP? Measuring happiness wouldn't be the magical quick fix governments seem to love, but it would at least be the step in the right direction. At this point, the problem is growing, with Canada's youth suicide rate at the highest in the industrialized world. Governments have to restructure the way they assess their citizens' needs, because the condition of our society depends on the condition of our mental health and the condition of our happiness. So this is a proposal and a question to you. Do you think it's worth measuring happiness? Or is it too vague of a concept to quantify? How do you measure your happiness? A wise man once said, "Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence." With that, I wish you all the happiness in the world and the best day. Thank you.